Everybody, welcome back to the latest Meet the Brand webinar. We have over 100 partners now supporting the Independent Gyms platform, many of which are familiar names. Some of them are new products that we think are going to be really useful to you as a gym owner. So today's webinar is hosted by John Parks of a company called LED Snaps, or LED Snaps, depending on how you pronounce it. John will fill in properly. Essentially, LED Snaps are a lighting company. They create immersive lighting solutions for studios and gyms. It's a really cool product. I've seen this in action a couple of times, but I won't say any more. On that note, I'm going to switch my camera and microphone off. I'm going to hand you over to John, and he's going to tell you all about LED Snaps. John, over to you.
Thanks, Rob. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's okay. So my name's John Parks. I work for LED Snaps, as it is. It is spelled LED Snaps, but it's pronounced LED Snaps. We are a lighting company that's been set up purely and simply to provide an immersive, dynamic, plug-and-play lighting solution direct to the fitness industry. So we're not a business that's supplying outside of the fitness industry. It's purely set up for you guys. Now, we have a sister company who has been supplying lighting to the fitness industry for 10 or 11 years. And what we've been doing there is we've been supplying what, let's call it traditional lighting for studios. So I'm talking about this sort of thing, which is an extrusion, a diffuser, so basically a bit of aluminium on the back, plastic on the front, and inside there's a strip of LED tape that I'm sure you've seen the likes of out in the retail environment. It's cut, it's glued inside of there, and you've got little dots that light up, that provide light that will go around the top of the studio or wherever somebody wants it. So that's what we have been supplying for the last 10 or 11 years to some of the big corporates within our industry. Okay. What we've done with LED Snaps is we set up a whole brand new business, because whereas our sister company deals across numerous different sectors, LED Snaps is purely focused on the fitness industry. And the reason for that is because this product, LED Snaps, has been designed specifically, as I say, for you guys. The idea has been spawned from a cycling studio. That's where the idea started. So it started really just prior to lockdown, I guess. And our managing director, Ian, goes into a spin class, has a workout, comes out of the workout, says to his wife, I've had a great workout, but there was no atmosphere in there. That was boring. We must, with all of our lighting experience, be able to do something to create a much better atmosphere for the user. So that's where it started from. A little while after that, the first of the lockdowns comes along. So it's, I guess, throws a slightly different slant on things, because all of a sudden this product has got to be what Ian had already decided. So it's got to be immersive, it's got to be easy to use, but now it's also going to be very, very cost effective, because we've got the lockdowns. We don't know at this point how long it's going to go on, but what we do know is the operators, you guys, particularly, people like yourselves that own and manage independent fitness centres, independent gyms, you're not going to have the funds to splash on massive installs and stuff like that. So we wanted to create a product that was ideal for you guys, really. So how did we do that? So what we did with this traditional type of lighting that I've already mentioned, to install something like that, what you'll find is that you'll get a contractor that will come in. They'll spend 2 or 3 days on site, depending on what the size of the job is in your studio or studios. They'll cut all these bits of plastic and aluminium to size. They generally come in a couple of meters strips, so they'll cut those to size. This one here is 1 meter, for example, and then there'll be a big roll of this LED tape or pixel tape. And what they'll have to do is, again, they've got to cut it on site. They'll glue it inside there, and then they're going to have to fix it to the ceiling, to whatever it's going to go to. And then, if you can see there are wires coming out the end. These wires have got to be soldered on, because you've got to take power to this. So all that soldering has got to be done very precariously with a guy standing on top of some step ladders. And this leads to all sorts of different challenges, because you're going to get something called dry solders or cold solders where they don't take very well. It leads to problems there. You get drop out of the light there. This LED tape is great, but it doesn't have the lifespan. You'll see quoted X amount of hours and things like that. So what happens is these dots, they start to go grey, and then they just die completely. And you end up with little dark patches right the way across it. The end result of all this is it's great. There's a place for it. We still use this in the other side of our business. This is our product, and there is absolutely a place for it. But what you find is you might spend say 2 to 3, maybe £4,000 on materials with whoever the contractor is. But the total bill at the end of that is going to be considerably more, because you're going to have somebody on site who's going to spend 2 or 3 days doing everything I've just said. And then you've got to control these lights. You've got to get them changing color. And what you'll do with that is you'll have to invest in sort of a medium to high end laptop, which will be done through the contractor. And then they'll have to program it. They'll spend a day, maybe 2 days programming it. That's all time, which is therefore money. And where you've probably got £3,000 or £4,000 worth of materials, you might spend £15,000 on the entire job. So it becomes quite expensive. When it's brand new, it looks very effective, but it is quite an expensive way of doing things. And as I say, there's the reliability challenges that you've got there. And that's because this was never designed to do what it's now doing. This tape was invented many, many years ago, really to go around TV screens. And now you're seeing it everywhere. It's in gyms, it's in nightclubs, it's in all sorts of different environments, doing things it was never designed for, and doing it, reasonably well in most places. So what have we come up with? Well, what we've got is a completely different solution. So LED snaps, like I say, is plug and play. Now what we've got here, if I hold that up, this is what we call a pace bar. So this is a LED snaps pace bar, just minus the diffuser on the top so you can see inside. So it's a solid aluminium case there, very high quality. And then inside there, instead of having pixel tape, what you've got is a solid RGB board. So multiple colors, RGB board. And then on the ends, if I turn that round, you see there's a substantial plug there. It's called a Holland adapter. There's male on one end, and then there's female on the other end. So what happens is you'll get 2 bars, or however many bars it is, and you will literally plug them into each other. So what we've done is we've negated the need for somebody to be standing on top of those step ladders doing all that soldering. You don't need it at all. As I say, there's time and a place for it. If you want some weird and wonderful customized shape or something like that, then maybe you do need that. But otherwise, plug and play solution, absolutely ideal. Takes all that hard work out of it. Takes all that time out of it, which means you're taking an awful lot of cost out of it as well. And then what you've got underneath, which you won't be able to see very well from a camera, but there are some grooves underneath, which ends up being the top of the light when it's fixed to the ceiling. And rather than having to have a bit of a palaver screwing it to the ceiling and stuff like that, what we've developed is a number of different attachments. Here's one example where these will slide into the grooves onto the top of that pace bar, and then there's a little scissor clip there, and that will clip onto, if you've got a false ceiling, that will clip on to the grid supports, the straight lines that surround your tiles. It will clip onto that. And from an installation perspective, hanging these lights on the ceiling, it can be that simple. There's 2 of these to a bar, and they can go up very, very quickly. So potentially, depending on what type of ceiling you've got, we've got a solution for every type of ceiling, by the way. Potentially, instead of taking 2 to 3 days to fix these lights and put them in the situ, you can do this in maybe 2 or 3 hours if it's a small job, maybe a few more hours than that. I saw a job the other day, a finished job, where it had taken an electrician, which is all you need. It'd taken a standard electrician, a qualified electrician, 5 hours to hang all of the lights. And this wasn't using those clips, actually, this was using these. Oh, sorry, I lost you there for a minute, you disappeared. So that's using these, which is a cable, infrastructure cable that screws into the ceiling. And this enables you to get the lights past air conditioning ducts and any other infrastructure that's on the ceiling there. And then these, again, just sliding into the bar like I've just described. So using those, getting around air conditioning ducts and stuff like that. Somebody the other day installed a load of these lights. I think if from memory, I think it was sort of 18 lights, something like that. Installed those and did all the wiring within 5 hours, and that was a substantial size job. So when you've got the diffuser on, you end up with that. It's a very high quality diffuser. It's not the sort of thing that you're going to be able to look at and see through and see cables on the inside or anything like that. It's very, very high quality. And then from a programming perspective, as I say, there is no need for that high-end laptop. We provide you with an Android tablet that's incredibly user-friendly. You can see the bars there up front on the touchscreen. Very, very user-friendly. So, comes with a house light function, which is what I've got it on here. I'm just controlling all of this with the tablet. If you want to change that house light function, you can change it and have a slightly different color like I've just done there. So we've just gone from like a, I guess like a magnolia color over to a clear white color. Then what we've got is we've got a number of classes. So we've got yoga. With yoga, what I've just done on the tablet is I've pressed the button and up comes a color palette. So I'm going to select purple there, and I'm going to change that to purple. There you go, purple. Apologies, it probably doesn't look like purple on the screen, but trust me, that's purple. Now, you can have all sorts of colours in there. I've got a colour palette here with quite a lot of various different colours. If you need a bit of customization for something like that, because maybe your brand colour is blue and you want some blue in there and we don't currently have it, then that's absolutely fine. We can customize those colours. If you've got a major competitor, a corporate competitor opening up round the corner and their brand colour is blue, for example, and you don't want that colour in there, then absolutely we can take that out. So that's the yoga section. Now what that's going to do is that's going to stay on that nice soft colour throughout the duration of that yoga class. We then have one called Pilates, which I've just clicked onto now. Now with Pilates, you've got a number of different sequences. There are actually 9 different sequences. And what you're going to get with this, which it's doing just now, hopefully you can see a little bit of that. This light is actually changing colour very, very gently. We've just gone from purple to like a pinky colour, now to a red. Now we're changing to a different blue. We've just gone to blue now. So this is going to gently change these soft colours throughout the class. Again, number of different sequences. You can change the brightness on this. I've got this at 50% brightness at the moment. You can change the brightness, go right the way up to 100%, or indeed take it right the way down if you want to soften it a little bit, depending on, I guess, who you've got in that class or what type of class it is. You can also affect what we call the mood speed. So that's the speed of which these lights change colour. So you've got complete control over that. It's just a simple slider tab on the keypad there. So very, very user-friendly. One of the next ones there, which is a very, very popular one, is cardio. So this is for high impact cardio, where you can see from that it's changing much faster speeds. We've got some quite vibrant colours in there. Again, we've got loads of different sequences in there. So I just click onto a different one there. There you go. See some different sequences there. There's actually 9 of them. So we can keep changing that. You can change the speed, you can change the brightness, so you can affect all of these things. And this is all being done via this very, very simple tablet. Very, very easy to use. Now, we have another sequence on there, which I can't unfortunately show you now because I don't have any music on, so you can hear me. But we have a function on there called spin, which we know is already getting used for things other than spin, and that's absolutely fine. And this is really going back to where the idea started when Ian was in that cycling spin class, and he wanted to create something that was very dynamic and very immersive. So we've got this spin wheel on there, and it looks kind of like this, like the high impact cardio setting, but what you've now got is you've got something that we call sound to light. So these lights, rather than changing at predetermined times that we've programmed into the software, what they're going to do is they're going to change with the beats per minute of the music that you've got on. So how we'll do that is a couple of different ways. We can either, depending on what sort of audio equipment you've got set up, if you've got a mixer deck on there that's got a line-in socket, we can simply plug our line-in kit into there. One end goes into your mixer. The other end goes into our driver, which is essentially a box that's got 8 outlets on it that controls what all these lights are doing. This sends all the commands to the lights. There are 8 outlets on there, so you can have, if you want a straight lines, for example, you can have 8 rows of lights. So you can power a lot of lights from this driver. It's got its own Wi-Fi built in. You don't need to worry about your Wi-Fi. So at the minute, what's happening is this tablet is talking to the driver that I've got in this room via Wi-Fi, and they're exchanging commands, and that's how we're making it work. So one end of that goes into the driver. The other end of it goes into your mixer. And then there is a splitter cable, this little thing here, that comes off, gives your team the ability to hardwire their phone directly into it. Can work with Bluetooth. There's a number of different ways we can do that. If that doesn't work, maybe you've got a really old system that we don't have the ability to connect into. Maybe you're using something like Sonos, so you've got speakers up in the top there, but there's no way of plugging into it, then there's no problem. We've also got a microphone system. So here's your microphone. This goes to a pre-amplifier, which then goes to the driver. So we've got the ability of doing that as well. To be honest, most sales that I've done so far has been with that. It's been with the line-in kit. Very cheap. You're talking £10 at the most for something like that. We need the microphone kit. We've got that as an option as well. It's a little bit more expensive, but you're only talking £89.99 for that, and that gives you the ability to get the music into the system. No matter what type of system you've got, you might only have some giant boom box as a speaker that's brought in and put on the floor by a personal trainer. That's fine. We can use a microphone system. So it really doesn't matter what sort of system you're using there. So I mentioned we got a driver. So there's a driver with 8 outlets, a maximum of eight outlets. And what we will do is we will deliver that with a number of outlets that are open that you need. So if you've got 4 straight lines, for example, there'll be 4 outlets open. My demo kit, I'm only powering a maximum of 4 bars, so I've got 1 open. So then it's what we call a starter cable that comes out at the end of the pace bar of each row, or at the end of the square, or the chevron, or whatever shape it is you want us to do. And the other end of that cable goes straight into the driver. The driver, you might put it above your false ceiling. You might store it next to your AV cabinet. It's entirely up to you. It's pretty flexible. It can go a number of different places there. So the tablet, you'll just warm out that in the same way as you will do the driver. They might be next to each other. You might put that just inside your door. Again, you might have it next to the mixer deck. That seems to be quite common at the moment. And your team will get used to operating that. It is incredibly easy to operate. They'll know if they're taking a yoga class. They'll come in, they use sequence number 4, and they press go, and that's it. It's very, very simple, really, really easy to use. So that's, in a nutshell, that's how it works. What other benefits have you got with having this system with these pace bars compared to the traditional lighting system? Well, firstly, as I've already mentioned, there is cost. This is going to be a lot more cost effective because it's a plug and play system that doesn't require days and days on site to fit it. So that's the first thing. The next thing, obviously, is the system itself. It's very immersive, it's very dynamic, and it can be customized in certain ways if you want us to do that. So you've got that as well. But we've also got, because it's such high quality and you've got the RGB board inside there, it's incredibly reliable. So I've seen taping solutions out there that have only been installed a year ago or whatever, something like that, and they're already starting to fail. Now, it's a bit like, how long is a piece of string? How long are those taping solutions going to last? Sometimes they'll last for a very, very long time. It really depends how much it's going to be used and how long each day, if it's going to be on. Obviously, if you're only using it for a couple of hours a day, it's going to have more life as opposed to if you're going to switch that thing on, it's going to be left on for 16 hours a day. So it really depends. With something like this, again, you've always got that, because the amount of usage anything gets is also going to affect how long something's going to last. But this is a lot more reliable. Now, should the unlikely thing happen, you get a failure, the first thing is you'll be covered under a warranty. But let's say, hypothetically, you're outside the warranty. Let's say you've had it for 8 to 9 years. All we simply do is you take the faulty unit out, the unit that's died on you, you simply unclip it. You go onto our website, you'll select pace bar, you'll drop it into your basket, go to checkout, and you'll just order a new one, just like you're ordering a pair of shoes off some shopping website. It's as simple as that, and we'll send it out on the next day delivery. New one arrives, you simply plug it in, and away you go. There is no need to start ripping down half the system, putting fresh tape, soldering it, and taking time and money to do that on a system that's already compromised. Which inevitably is probably what's going to happen to most systems. It's just a case of what time frame you've got before that does happen. So it's very reliable, it's very dynamic, very immersive, and it's very serviceable. And also, because it's a modular system like this, it also gives you the ability to add to it as well. So if, for example, you buy 15 bars, you put them in a studio, it works for that size of the studio, your classes get incredibly busy because your members love this new immersive system that you've got, and everything else you're doing that obviously goes along with it. Let's say you decide to move to a studio next door that's twice the size. Absolutely fine. This can be just unclipped from the ceiling, unplug the driver, you take everything next door, put it in the new room, put it in the larger room. If you need more bars, absolutely fine. Like I say, you go onto our website, you can order more bars, or you can come through me. It makes very little difference, and we can simply send you more bars out. Along with a new SD card, because we'll need to get, if you've had 15 bars and you want another 10, we'll need to send you a new SD card out that goes into the driver so that all 25 bars work together in sequence. So that's absolutely fine. We send you one of those out and you simply plug in your new bars. That's that straightforward. So it's got a huge amount of benefits. It's not just a really, really cool system that adds fantastic amount of atmosphere to your classes, to all of your classes. It's going to complement them all. It's going to enhance them all. It's going to do all of that, but it's going to do it in a cost-effective way. It's going to do it in a reliable way, in a serviceable way, and in an expandable way as well. Give you the ability to add to it as time goes along. So in a nutshell, that's it. There is obviously more to it, but I'm quite limited on time, so I can't go into too much more detail than that. But suffice to say that if you want to know more about it, you will be able to get my details from the Independent Gym's website. I can give you my details in a second as well. You will also be able to find me on LinkedIn. So if you want to know more about it, please reach out to me. I have a demo kit. That's what this is. So I'm very, very happy to come to your location, wherever you are. I work nationally across the whole of the United Kingdom. So I'm very happy to bring my demo kit. I can come and show you the system working live with 4 bars in it. We can try different combinations. You can see it with your lights down. We can try it with your music, and you can get a proper feel for it, which you can't get through a webcam, and really get a feel for what the system works, how it works, what it does. And if you want a quote, obviously, clearly, I'll give you a quote. You are entitled to your Independent Gym's discount, so you will get a 10% discount against the normal prices, which is not something we do for everybody. So that's certainly something to be embraced. And that's it, really. So I guess if you want my details, if you've got a pen, my details are jpp@leadsnaps.com. This is all on your website as well. And then my telephone number is 07956 752 417. And so you can find me on LinkedIn as well. We will be at Elevate, as I'm sure a lot of you guys hopefully will be attending. If you've not been to Elevate before, go to it. It's a great experience. You'll see lots and lots of different things, different brands from all sorts of sectors of the industry. So it's a great thing to go and spend a couple of hours walking. You will need a few hours, mind, but it's a great thing to go and spend a bit of time walking around. We will be there. We've got a spot just inside the doors. Feel free to come and say hello. Robert?
Brilliant, John. Thank you very much. Also to add, you'll also be attending our summer conference as well. You'll be visiting there, which is a couple of weeks after Elevate. So if anybody can't make Elevate, but is coming to our events, they'll be able to see the setup in action. So great stuff. I think you've covered off everything that I was going to ask, John, to be honest with you. So you've done a very thorough job there. I think it's just a great solution. It's very immersive. The plug and play nature, I think, makes it really simple to use. And the way that the Android tablet, you can control the style of lighting for the class, I think is a great solution. So yeah, hopefully you'll our members find it very useful, and we'll be reaching out to you shortly.
Hopefully, you're very welcome to do so. Have a conversation. Like I say, if you want me to come and do a LeadSnaps live demo in your facility, very, very happy to do so. No obligation, of course, but just be very happy just to put the product in front of you, let you have a look at it, and let you fire as many questions at me as you can. I'll try and answer one or two of them, and then we can talk about different shapes. We've got corner pieces coming, we've got T pieces coming, cross pieces coming, and all sorts of lovely things like that. So there's a lot of further development coming down the pipeline, so happy to discuss all that with you. So please feel free to reach out.
Fantastic. And obviously everyone's watching this back on YouTube at the moment, so we'll keep sharing this video, and yeah, happy future. I think you'll be able to help a lot of our members, which I think you've already been doing. So
yeah, we've already been working with 3 or 4 of your members, yeah, in a very short space of time. So it's already generating a lot of interest. And actually, one of your members actually said to me the other day, when I did the demo, I said, "What did you think of it?" And he said, "Wow, I mean, why wouldn't you?" So that was a response from one of your members. So it's going down very, very well indeed. So yeah, reach out, and I'll see if I can come and do a demo for you quite happily.
Brilliant, fantastic, John. Great sort of summary of everything LED snaps or LED snaps. So thank you very much. Unless you've got anything else that you wanted to drop in there, I think we can call it a wrap.
We can. Happy with that.
Great stuff, John. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at Elevate in a few weeks.
See you there. Thanks, Robert.
Cheers, John. Bye now.
Bye.